I love Zoom. I mean, it takes all the excuses away from doing this business when everybody can be in a different part of the country and we can see each other, we can feel each other's passion. And, you know, Patty, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share with your team tonight. Guys, it's a real honor and a privilege. And I'm just amped up for, you know, some reason at the moment. This business is just on fire, guys. We are changing more lives than we ever have done. I've personally enrolled 3 people just in the past 24 hours. And I was speaking to Dave Simpson the other day, presidential director, and we were talking about why is now the time to get started with Zurvita? Why is now the time to make the decision to go to the next level? And I actually made a bunch of notes to talk to you about on this call, but I didn't bring them with me because my party went late. So I'm going to just share my heart with you completely, just, you know, off the cuff. And, you know, I look at the journey of this company. You know, I will go back to the very beginning when I make the decision about why now's the time to build it for the future. You know, you look at what this company's built upon, the founding principles, the core of everything that we do. You look at the leadership that we have, whether it's our ambassadors, Mark and Tracy, some of the corporate staff that we have, just an amazing group of individuals. And then you look at the timing. You know, that we did $100 million in revenue as a company last year, and we're only just getting started. We're a little baby in terms of companies. You know, I'm 22 years old. I've been with the company for 2.5 years now, and the opportunity is 10 times better today than it was when I got started. So you can imagine the amount of lives that we're going to change in just the next 2 to 4 years and beyond that, because this is set up for the long haul. This is set up to be a legacy company that you can pass down to your children and grandchildren. And, you know, at the age of 22, I know that I am changing the legacy of my family. You know, I'm going before them. I'm blazing the trail for young people. And, you know, when I got started in this business, yes, I had great results with the product. I had a passion and a desire. I didn't want to buy into that 40-40-40 plan, you know, where you go to work for 40 hours a week for 40 years, retire and just try and live off 40% of that. You pay bills and you die. I mean, I didn't really want to sign up for that. I knew there had to be something more to life. And this business has given me that lease of life. And if you look at the incentives that are on the table right now, if you look at what Mark and Tracy are putting out there for each of us to incentivize us even more to do what we should be doing anyway, which is change people's lives with this product. And so, you know, I don't know, Patty, you know, do you have any specific things you want me to touch on? Because I could talk all night. I could ramble with these guys all day. My passion is, I'm just so amped up. But, you know, what is it that you want me to deliver to these people tonight that you want them to take home and really live out when they share Zeal with their friends and family tomorrow?
I just, you know, that you've hit on the timing is right. You know, the timing is right. And then just the daily, you know, what we do each day to go and, you know, be passionate about with it.
Right. Well, and you know, you're exactly right with that, because I think a lot of people think that they can, you know, work for, you know, 10 hours on the weekend and that's good enough to build a business. This is about consistent daily, and I'm going to emphasize that word, daily habits. 30 minutes building this business per day is better than 10 hours on the weekend, because you get into disciplines, you get into habits, and your habits create results, and results create freedom. And really, that's the key. That's the core of what we do, is the daily disciplines. And why is now the right time to develop those disciplines? Just because of where we're at as a company. You know, we mentioned the incentives, and I'm going to go into detail as to why they're so powerful. So we've got one of them that's called the Fall for All. The Fall for All. And that's whenever you join the business in your first month, and you enroll 4 people with starter packs direct to you, you extend that all-star clock. Why is that important? Because it's getting people into the habit of bringing in new people, coaching them, developing personally. Plus, it takes the pressure off of that clock, right? It gives you that extra 30 days to go get your 5 customers and the rest of that team bonus volume. But what it also does at the same time is, for those go-getters out there, those same four people can be used as a credit to get on one of the trips that's out there. So right now we have this trip to Universal Orlando for 4 people. If you promote to regional consultant, you fulfill some other requirements. But why is this important? Because this just isn't about income, guys. This isn't just about, you know, earn an extra $500 a month, earn an extra $5,000 a month. This is about the experiences that you can have with this company. Patty said that we went on a Zurvita vacation together. And these trips are like, there's vacations and then there's Zurvita vacations. I mean, it's so awesome to be in an environment with like-minded people who have earned the right to be there and just feed off that excitement. So my business plan for my team, and this is, you know, you guys may do something different, but I want to teach you what I tell my team when they first enroll. The first thing I want them to do is get those 4 team members. Let's get them out of the way. Let's get excitement building, bring people in, because there's something special about doing this business with people you love and care about, right? That's what's unique about this industry, is you get to build this with people you love. So that's the first thing. And I want to get them to that team all-star and that customer all-star in that first month. The next month, I'm using those people they brought in as a springboard for the trips, because I know if I can get them to a trip, I can get them to be in the environment around Mark and Tracy and the corporate staff and the ambassadors and the other people who've earned the trips. They are going to be with Zurvita for life, because it's those events, it's those trips, it's the conventions, it's the regional events. Those are what get Zurvita in your heart. So you go there as part of Zurvita and you leave and Zurvita is a part of you. That's why these are so powerful. That's why this is the time. And you leave there with such belief to get to the next level. The next level is executive consultant. And why is executive consultant so important? Because you become part of what we call the leadership of this company, the people who are going to pioneer it for the future. Everybody right now on this call, if you have a team member, you're already a leader. But when you get to executive consultant, it's a whole different ballgame, because you have an organization of hundreds of people. You have excitement, momentum. But with this new leadership development program that Mark and Tracy launched this week, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the video on it yet or heard more about it, but this is going to allow an executive consultant with just $30,000 in volume. And I say just because of the income that an executive consultant can earn. They can earn now between $5,000 and $10,000 per month just with $30,000 in volume. That wasn't around when I was pushing for executive consultant. So this is the real time. And then when you're putting the income in your pocket, it's building your excitement, it's building your belief. And that belief is going to take you to the next level. It's going to push you to the higher levels, the national directors, the presidential directors, and the ambassador levels. And I tell you what, guys, there's nothing better to me than listening to some ambassadors talk. You know, I loved spending time with people like Patty. I love spending time with some of the other ambassadors because it's wisdom, guys. If you want to go to the next level in this thing, it's all about association. Who do you spend time with? That is the key to this thing. Because if you spend time with people who suck the life out of you, they're going to impact your thoughts, which is going to impact your actions, which is going to impact your results, right? If you upgrade your association, you upgrade your thoughts, you upgrade your activity, you upgrade your results, you upgrade your life. Everything is tied to who you spend your time with, right? So if you can get on one of these trips, if you can get yourself to a convention or a regional event, if you're anywhere near the Florida one this weekend, you need to be there. I mean, people ask me, what is the secret to my success? The secret is I will never miss an event, ever. Doesn't matter what it is. If Mark and Tracy are there, I'm going to be there, right? You've got to have that same level of commitment. Most people are willing to do just enough. Okay, just enough to get by, just enough to remain comfortable, just enough to stay in that kind of comfort of mediocrity. They're not willing to say, now is the time, now is my moment, the moment to dig in, the moment to speak life and hope, not only into myself, but to my team, the people who haven't even joined my team yet, and go to the next level. What I did for my small team, you know, I'm not an ambassador yet. I've got a close-knit group of a few hundred people. I've upgraded my thinking. See, if I could give you guys one piece of advice, it would be to think big now. Doesn't matter if you're a managing consultant, you've just joined the business, or if you are a presidential director wanting to get to ambassador. If I could start again, I would think much bigger, much sooner. I wouldn't wait, because here's the thing, there's endless possibilities with this company. What you'll see is there are people who go and make it happen, and there are people who give you excuses. I want you to kind of ask yourself right now, are you the people who make it happen, or you're the people that give an excuse? Because excuses don't lead to results. I've had teams quit on me. I've had my volume go from being 60,000 to just 10,000. I have been on this entrepreneur roller coaster. And I tell you this not to scare you, but to tell you that if I can do it as a man who came here with no network, I was a foreigner. I didn't even have a car when I hit National Director. I had absolutely no business being successful, but what I had was one thing, and that was drive. That was hunger. That was desire for more for me and the people around me, right? I see some people nodding their heads, and that's so important, because here's the thing. There's one thing that I can't give you. You can be the most gifted speaker in the world. You can be the most charismatic person in the world. You can have the largest circle of influence in the world. But if you don't have drive, if you don't have hunger, if you don't have that deep burning desire, that reason why, then you're not going to go anywhere. And that's just the simple fact of it. There's a reason that Patty is on the call with you guys tonight. There's a reason that she has put this on for her team. And that's because she was willing to stick through it no matter what. She had the grit to stick through it. And she's got to the summit. She's got to the top of the mountain. And now she wants to help you guys get there with her. She wants to build you up to get to that next level. And so what I challenge each of you to do is come up with your own personal growth plan. Okay. This is I'm going to give you mine. Okay. And it's not even to do necessarily just with the business. It's about growing in every area of life. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I work out, because if I don't do it first thing in the morning, I'm not going to get it done. And I know that how I show up, being a product of the product, is so important. So that's what I do. The second thing I do right after the gym is I do my devotion. I have my time with the Lord. That's so important to me as a Christian. You know, I spend that time, do my Devo, do my Bible study. And then right after that, I do my personal growth. Right now, I'm reading a book. I'm actually listening to it and reading it, because I learn in both ways. It's a book called The Go-Giver Leader. I've read it several times, but every time I read it, I get inspired. And it's just about how when you give more, the more you give, the more power you have, right? And so you guys, as you're building an organization, you need to be expert givers. If I can, give you another piece of advice, you've got to find ways to serve. The more you serve, the more enriched your life is, the more fulfilled you are. And what follows fulfillment is action. Because if I feel good about who I am, I'm more willing to raise my self-esteem. And when I raise my self-esteem, I'm more willing to fight for my future. And when I'm more willing to fight for my future, I'm going to keep going until. And that until may be a year. It may be 10 years. But I know in my heart that this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm passionate. I'm pouring into myself daily. And then I journal just a few sentences. I'm not one for, writing a novel every day, but just a few things that I learned when I read that morning. And if you see any book that I've ever read, the thing is torn up. It's not the sort of thing that you can resell, right? It's a book that's got notes all over it. Now, I love actually reading books that people have scribbled on before me, because here's what I find. And this is why, I encourage you guys, if you've got a team here and you all read a different book, or you're all reading the same book, I would encourage you to pass the books around and read it after someone else has, and see what they mark down in it. Because what I love about it is, let's say, for example, Dave and I were reading the same book, Dave Simpson, and we read the same book. We highlighted, we made notes, and then a month later, we sent it to each other. We exchanged it. I love seeing what other people saw that I didn't. And I love asking myself the question, why did they see that and I didn't see it? How can I get to the place where I notice those things? How can I become better? Because if you're not growing personally, if you're not pouring into yourself, you're not going to be able to pour into others. And remember, I told you this is the service business. The more you serve, the more enriched you are, the more you're going to earn, the better life you're going to have. I am forever trying to find ways to grow. Okay, so we have got the John Maxwell class, and if you guys are in the John Maxwell class, really quick, just raise your hand if you're doing the. That's awesome! Hey, isn't that phenomenal? I mean, it gives you a track to run on, right? I am a couple of weeks behind. I'm going to be honest with you, but here's the thing: it's not about the schedule; it's about the commitment to growth, right? As long as you have a commitment to finish and keep going, that's the most important thing. Last thing I want to tell you about timing, okay, is the people who say that tomorrow I'll get started will never get started. The people that say 3 weeks from now I'll get started, never going to get started. It starts with making a decision right now, not tomorrow morning when you wake up, right now, that this is going to be your month, June. What are we at? I'm checking my calendar, all the days merge together when you're building really busily. It's the 11th of June. Okay, there's 19 days left of the month after today, right? What's your big goal? What's the goal that gets you excited? See, my goal for this month and the next 3 months is so big that as soon as I wake up, my feet hit the floor, I'm running, I'm going, because I'm purpose driven, right? Over the next 3 months, I'm going to add 500 people to my team. Okay, I'm purpose driven to do that. Notice I said I am going to. I'm not going to try. I've eliminated the word try from my vocabulary. In fact, I got a dictionary and I actually scribbled out the word try. Okay, don't try to do anything. This is about doing. It's about action. Okay, eliminate the word try. Okay, and here's the thing. Each one of you can do this. There's nothing that I've done that you guys can't do. Right? I don't have this knack of talking to an older person, a younger person. My team is probably one of the most varied you'll see. I've got people of all races, ages, backgrounds. In fact, about 70% of my team is actually over the age of 35. Okay, I'm only 22. The only reason I can do that and have a team that trusts me and follows me is because of personal growth. Is staying grounded, staying humble, remembering where I've come from. But write down your goal for this month. This is going to be your month if you choose. It starts with that decision. Okay, then the plan. After my personal growth, after my exercise, after my Bible study time, I'm doing all my prospecting. I do it in the morning to get out the way. Now, if you guys work a full-time job, I understand this isn't going to quite work for you. Then the first thing, whenever I was in school, I would do it right after I got out of class. The first thing I do, because it's the one thing that, as much as I enjoy it when I've started, it's the one thing that I dread to get started, is picking up the phone and calling someone. So I know if I do it right away and I've got an hour of time blocked out just to call new people or to reach out to someone, to message someone about why they need to take a look at this, to build a relationship, I know if I do it right then, it's going to get easier. And here's the thing, guys, what most people do is they'll leave it till the last thing they do in the day, because it doesn't allow the person to call you back if they miss your call. Or it doesn't allow them, like, you're not going to see their reply till the next day. So do it first thing, get the prospect, because prospecting is the lifeblood of this, guys. If you haven't shared this product with everyone you know, this opportunity, you're actually robbing them of something that could potentially change their life forever. Do you guys believe that? Just raise your hand really quick if you can see. If you believe that this product and opportunity, if you deprive someone of it, you're actually going to be doing them a disservice. You're actually stealing from them. Because I know for a fact that if someone hadn't cared enough about me to share this with me, I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you guys. Right? Every one of you are on this call because someone cared enough. So make this your month. I know I've talked, that's what happens when I don't have notes. I get excited and I go off on tangents. But I'm going to come back to the timing thing. There has never been a better time than right now. It's time to get those excuses, write them down, whatever excuse you've ever given yourself as to why you shouldn't do this. Write down a piece of paper, crumple it up into a ball, throw it in the trash can, and start now. Okay? So, Patty, anything else you want me to talk about before I get off? I'm sorry if I talked in circles. Yes, Dave, you've got a question.
Teacher, I have a question. So I want to go back because, I know how we are as individuals. I know how I am. And there's a temptation to think that you're a superhero because you're so passionate and you believe so much. But I know that you're a dude who's gone through some junk and kept fighting. So will you tell us, as because we all have the capability, if we were to be as disciplined as you, as studied as you, as passionate as you, as committed as you, we could all be also as skilled as you. So how many people did you have to talk to get your three recently? So all of us who are in the new game of building new, let's go recruit. What kind of action are you taking so we know how to model that kind of success? Because I want to recruit three people in one day also. That sounds like something that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun when you take the emotion out of the result, right? When you take the pressure off yourself and you don't worry about the outcome. So Dave said really something important, the junk. I want to tell you the junk, okay? Because I think this is important. And I should have spoken about this a few minutes ago. But here's what I want you guys to know is, I had absolutely the worst, the worst start possible in this business. Okay. I saw people around me hitting all-star. I remember it took me 4 months to get my first consultant, 4 months. Okay. It took me 6 months to get my first builder's pack. In that same month that I got a builder's pack, it was right at the start of July 2015, been in the business for 6 months. I hit executive consultant that month. Do you know what changed? I made a decision right there. It doesn't matter how slow you go. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You can wake up tomorrow. You can make a decision right now that you're going to go do it and build and have confidence in yourself. So I actually had a girl that I met with today, this afternoon, and she said to me, Kyle, that $500 pack, that's expensive, right? I said, I used to think that too when my business was growing slowly. And then I made a decision that if someone really has the desire to build a big business, they're going to see that as an investment in themselves and their future. And so each of you on here, if you didn't start with the builder's pack, it's okay. But I know that if you have the money now to buy a builder's pack, I would go and do it anyway. I would upgrade to it simply because you can tell people, hey, I couldn't start with that one, but I knew I needed to get it just to have enough product to share, to be able to tell you today, I made it happen. But anyway, you upgrade your thinking. I used to think that the builder's pack was expensive. So I got to executive consultant in my 6th month. I got to national director in my 7th. I used that momentum. Okay. But I got busy. Life happened. Things came against me. My girlfriend of 2 years broke up with me. And I went through I wouldn't say depression, but when you're just down and everything about your life just spirals. And my business took a hit, and I went from 60,000 in volume in August of 2015 to 5,000 by January of 2016. And that's 5% of 7 or 8% of what it used to be. Okay. And I made a decision in that February that I was at a convention. That's why convention's so important. I could have quit at that point, right? You'd have probably quit if your business had shrank 90%, right? Most of you on here. That's how most people are. But I went to a convention. I said, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to see what happens. I went, I got stirred up. I said, I'm never again am I going to allow this to happen to me. I built my business back up to national director. And then life happened again. And my business halved. I went from 60,000 to 30,000. But I saw the signs. I saw the warning signs the second time. And so I knew that I was never going to let it get as bad as it was. And I caught it. And now my business is back up again. So you see, whenever you go through the hills and the valleys aren't as low the second, the third, the fourth time, right? And every time me building this business has been just a decision to be better. So I want you guys to know that, yeah, I may come across as all fired up, all energetic, because I am, but it doesn't mean I haven't been through the stuff to get there, right? 20 years old I was when I went from 60,000 in volume to 5,000 in just 3 or 4 months. And it was the biggest test of my life, but I'm here today because of that test. You don't earn the millions of dollars in the successes. You earn them in the failures. You earn them in the defeats. You earn them when it hurts. right? That's when you earn your stripes and you build again, because you know that where you are is where God placed you to be. You know that where you are is where you were divinely appointed at the right time to share this product and opportunity with those that you love and care about. And so, Dave, what was your question? Because I know that you asked me to answer something, but I wanted to make sure people understood that it hasn't all been sunshine, rainbows, and candy for me.
Just real quick, tell us before we say goodbye, how many people do you talk to on a daily basis, or how many did you talk to? Because I know what you did. You talked to them, introduced them, showed them the message, gave them a sample, spoke life into them, and then enrolled them. How many to go from nothing to 3 enrollments?
Right. Okay. So that's a good question. And here's the thing: the harder I work, the more luck I have. Okay. So for a while there, I was only reaching out to 3 people a day. Okay. And I say 3 people may sound a lot to you guys, but I'm a guy who I do this full time now, and I still, I don't do full-time hours because I have the luxury of being able to travel and enjoy life. But I know I want to get to the next level. So I decided I'm working 12-hour days right now. So in 12 hours, aside from coaching my new team members, enrolling new people, hosting parties, personally every day, I'm at least sharing Zeal, at the very, very least 5 people, but most of the days between 10 and 15. Okay. And I've got, 7 or 8 from just the last 3 days in my pipeline that are going to be consultants before the end of the next week. Okay. Just because I've been taking action. My ratio when I first started in the business was 1 consultant for every 10 to 15 I spoke to. Okay. So that was not too bad for someone. As I said, I was terrible. Okay. So it wasn't bad to get anybody. But now I'm seeing it's 3 out of 10. Okay. So I'm just getting better the more people I speak to. Right. And every prospect is different. Everybody asks me, well, what do you say? What's your approach? It's really speaking from my heart. That was the biggest difference. I went from the heart, the logic of this business. Went from the head, which is the logic. Of course, you can sit down anybody and say, look at the timing, look at all this. But when I can look someone in the eye and say, I believe I'm supposed to share this with you. I believe that this company could really transform your life from the current circumstances you have. I believe that this is the one thing you've been looking for. And I can say it with sincerity, not with hype, but with hope. 4 letters, only 1 letter's different, hype and hope, right? Too many people go out there talking with hype. They forget that people are really looking for hope. Okay, so for every 10 people I speak to, I get 3. So Dave, to answer your question, yesterday I spoke to 10 people. Okay. And 2 of them were from yesterday. 1 of them was someone I spoke to 6 months ago. And she reached out to me because I cultivated the relationship. So most people, when they hear a no, that's the end of it. Okay. But I still make friends with them. I still want to get to know them and love them because I know that relationship. Now, I'm not saying I keep the relationship going to get them in the business. That's not the point. It's because I like to make friends. I know that one day I may need a friend. They may need a friend. So, but from cultivating that relationship, she joined the team today. So does that answer your question? It's about all out massive action.
Absolutely.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Let's open it up so we can say thank you.
That's right. Kyle, you knocked it out of the park for us, and you were supposed to be the one on the call for us tonight. It was an awesome call. We're just going to close it out. Thank you so much, and we're going to let everybody thank you for being on here. We appreciate you for giving everything you did for us tonight. It was absolutely phenomenal. We're going to unmute. Everybody can say thank you.
Thank you, bro.